Hey, how you doing? Today we're talking about Canada's Free the Beer movement and why it ultimately failed. I'm Caleb from Big Red's Authentic Shine, and let's get into it. Before you can understand the Free the Beer movement, you first have to look at Gerard Comeau. Gerard Comeau, an early 60s man that, to my best knowledge, is still alive, despite when you Google him, one of the first prompts being obituary. Okay, so why am I talking about some 60-year-old? Because he's the man who started it all. Gerard had driven from his small town in New Brunswick to Quebec to buy some beers and save an extra couple bucks. But during his drive home, he was randomly stopped by a police car which found 24 cases of beer in his car. This is well above New Brunswick's traveling laws of 12 pints, meaning he received a $300 fine. But instead of paying this fine, he decided to fight it in court.
Because when you're not allowed to take 500 gallons of Busch Light across the New Brunswick border, you should be asking yourself, are you living in Canada or communist China?
Gerard was going to fight the ticket because New Brunswick's law goes around Section 121 of the Canadian Constitution.
I understand that the province is going to create revenue. They were given that right to do that by the federal government, but they weren't giving the right to take away my right to go shop wherever I want.
When the Canadian Constitution Federation heard about Gerard's case, they gave him full support financially and with some of the best lawyers they could provide. Despite what seemed to be a closed case and a law directly opposing the Canadian Constitution, Gerard Comeau lost the Free the Beer movement because the Supreme Court ruled that it was a province's right to control the export of goods into their province. This proves problematic when you look at the exact wording of Section 121 of the Canadian Constitution. All articles of the growth, produce, or manufacture of any one of the provinces shall from and after the Union be admitted free into each of the other provinces. This basically says that there can be no restrictions on trade or transportation between the provinces, which directly opposes New Brunswick's transportation laws regarding alcohol. Here's what the Canadian Constitution Federation lawyer had to say about it.
From and after the Union be admitted free into each of the other provinces. That sounds pretty clear to me. You're a lawyer. The court disagrees with that. What is the actual decision here? How did this come to be?
Well, it sounds very clear to me, too, particularly the bit that says admitted free, even though the court did go on a bit today about how the phrase admitted free is ambiguous. But what this, I think, is based upon is the case law that has led us to the point where we're at today. See, early on, Section 121 of the Constitution Act, 1867, that you just read, was encumbered by a decision called Gold Seal. And in Gold Seal, the court decided that tariff barriers were offline, but non-tariff barriers were okay. So, for instance, a tariff barrier would be a fee assessed upon volume, weight, something of the like, where a non-tariff barrier could be inspections or various bottling sizes, different restrictions like that or regulations of that variety. So Gold Seal found that tariff barriers were contra Section 121. Non-tariff barriers were perfectly fine. Now, when you go back and look at the text of 121, it's really hard to find that distinction between tariff and non-tariff in there. Now, later on, there was a decision called Murphy, and what Murphy did was it tweaked that a little bit, and so that any sort of barrier that is between provinces that has as its purpose keeping out the goods from another province, if that is its primary purpose, then it runs afoul of Section 121. So what the court did today is it just frankly stamped its foot and said, we're going to follow the precedents of the past.
I just wanted to let you know, the only reason the government ended the Free the Beer movement, the amount of money the government gets from liquor.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Gerard Comeau was ultimately acquitted of all charges, the fine, and the court fees, because why should a man be punished for just trying to buy some beer?
Because you can go in Quebec or any provinces and buy any quantity of merchandise, clothes, shoes, anything, except for beer.